would have ever thought a virus could so drastically disrupt our lives and the marketplace? Social distancing has become the norm. Businesses have shut down. And we are all wondering when, if ever, things will return to normal. And what normal is even going to look like now. Remember back to the 1st of January? Celebrating the new year, we were so optimistic, so excited. We were not only bringing in a new year, but a new decade. Business was booming, the economy was growing, and consumers were buying. And in a matter of what seemed like minutes, it all changed. We went from believing this could be our best year on record to wondering if success is even possible now. But believe it or not, there is opportunity even in this marketplace. So much opportunity if you know how to approach it and where to look. As I shared in the last keynote, what you focus on, where you put your energy and time, and how you invest your resources, it's critical now. It can mean the difference between whether you struggle or whether you emerge successful in this uncertain marketplace. A few years back, I became obsessed with uncertainty and how we as leaders and business owners view it. Whenever I would talk or work with a business owner or a sales professional, I would always ask how they think things are going, what they think about the current marketplace. And I almost always got the same answer. Now, you have to remember, I was asking this question in 2018 and 2019. And their answer would be, we're having a great year, probably our best year on record. But oh, this uncertainty. As if uncertainty always had to be a bad thing, a negative. That one thing that was going to drop out of the sky and stop your business success in its tracks. Like uncertainty had the power to derail all of our plans and prevent us from achieving success. And that got me thinking, what if we flipped the script on that? What if we started to think about uncertainty as a positive, something that not only didn't prevent growth, but something that actually propelled it? And I wondered if there were businesses out there that had or were doing that viewed uncertainty as a positive versus a negative. Leaders that had actually found a way to use uncertainty as a strategy to not only grow in uncertainty, but actually gain competitive advantage. And that put me on a mission to both find and study companies and leaders that have not only survived through tough times, but actually thrived through them. Now, believe me, there are not many companies and leaders like that, but I have found nine companies that are still in business today that have been in business successfully since the late 1700s, early 1800s. Now think about that. That means that these companies have survived economic downturn, economic depression, world wars, and yes, they have even survived a pandemic. So take a breath. As a business community, we have been here before, and history shows that companies can not only make it through, but emerge successful from times like these. Now, I call what I learned from these organizations my formula for thriving in uncertainty. And it is all coming out in my new book, scheduled for publication this fall, Thrive, Turning Uncertainty to Competitive Advantage. And today, I want to dive into that formula Share the strategies you need to redefine, rebuild, and relaunch your business so you too can emerge successful. Now, we won't have time to cover the entire formula, but you will leave this session with the most vital strategies you need to turn uncertainty to your competitive advantage. But before we jump in, I want to share my story. Just like many of you, I started 2020 off strong. Halfway through first quarter, I felt I was headed for my best year ever. See, I make my living as a keynote speaker, which means I get on airplanes, stand on stages, and engage with thousands of people. So you can imagine in 1 week, the week of March 9th, my entire calendar, all my revenue, was completely wiped away. In a matter of days, I went from having my best year on record to looking at my worst. My entire business model had become unusable. At first, like many of you, I imagine, I panicked. Then I got mad, and then I finally embraced reality and I started to work on a plan. Luckily for me, I had been researching this book, Thrive. Now, I have to admit that when I started working on this book and studying uncertainty, I had no idea a pandemic would hit. At best, I was hoping to help leaders get through an economic downturn. But with no idea on how to turn my own business around, I decided to drink my own Kool-Aid, so to speak, and put the strategies, the formula from these companies and lessons learned into place in my own business. Strategies gained from studying businesses like Procter & Gamble, which was started by two brothers in the early 1800s. King Arthur Flour, started in the late 1700s and still in high demand today. And Bush Beans, which has been family owned since 1908. Almost unheard of for a business to be passed through that many generations and still succeed. And today, I am happy to report in 1 short month, I saw so much progress in my own business. And 8 weeks into this pandemic, I have completely turned my business around. And 2020 may end up being my best year on record. So these strategies work, and they're simple steps, but not easy to do, as they require discipline, courage, and consistency, no matter the obstacles you face. See, there are 3 phases to this crisis, and your business has to apply these strategies to each phase. Phase 1 is stabilizing your business. Breathe life into it and put the strategy in place to keep it going during this crisis and no matter the obstacles you face. Phase 2 is growing your business, finding the opportunity in the middle of all this uncertainty. How do you become profitable? Because you can grow during this crisis. And lastly, phase 3. You have to transform your business. When this pandemic is over, and it will be over, what is your business going to look like? How will your business need to change? Because your customers, the marketplace, competition, those will all change. And if you want uncertainty to be your competitive advantage, you need to be ahead of that curve. These strategies to emerge successful will effectively move you through each phase and help you find the path to redesign, rebuild, and relaunch your business. So let's get started. Now, there's 6 sales and business growth strategies that you need to really thrive in an uncertain marketplace that you've got to put into place if you want to emerge successful. And number 1 is you've got to define the positive point. If you want to succeed in an uncertain marketplace, you have to get clear on where you are going and where you want to land. We call this the positive point, or focus on the prize, whatever works for you. There was a great story of a Boy Scout leader who took a young group of boys on a whitewater rafting trip in Northern California. It had taken them over a year to get the reservation, and the boys were so excited. But 3 weeks leading up to the trip, Northern California had had torrential downpours of rain, moving the normal Class 2 and 3 rapids to somewhere between 4 and 5. Enough to really cancel the trip. But the boys were begging to go, and the scoutmaster, having been assured by the guides, finally gave in. Now, the guides lengthened the training and safety talk by over an hour and went over every possible scenario with the boys. But as much time as the guide invested in going over obstacles and challenges the scouts would encounter, he gave twice that amount to what he called the positive point, telling the boys that on this trip, he would make them aware of the downed trees or the high water, but he would always be pointing and asking them to focus on where they want to be, where they want to end up, the positive point, the prize. He let them know that success on the river is about being aware of the challenges, but keeping focus on the positive point. Well, life and business, they're the same way. You need a positive point. This pandemic, the news, negative people, they can get you so twisted in the obstacles, you lose sight of the prize. So you need a solid and a clear vision. Now think about that. Where do you see your business headed? What will it look like when you get there? Get that vision in your mind and keep yourself and your team focused on it every single day. Just like those scouts could tell you the positive point, your team needs to be able to do that too. When they are as clear as you are on the positive point, then you are sure you will all end up in the right direction. Now, number 2. Condition yourself for change. If this pandemic has taught us nothing else, it has taught us just how fragile our economy is, and that our lives and our businesses can change in a single moment, and that the majority of things that can impact our success, they are actually outside of our control. So to emerge successful from this crisis, you have to get comfortable with change. We have to get good at it. And the only way to get good at change is to condition yourself for change. Because the truth about change is, if you see it coming, it can be your greatest opportunity. But if you ignore it, put your head in the sand, it will bury you. See, change is like a muscle. The more you talk about change, the more you work on change, the more you think about change, the more prepared you are for change. The stronger your change muscle will be. And the stronger your muscles, the easier and faster you will adapt, and the more quickly you will move through change. Think about the businesses that are changing today. We are seeing manufacturers making masks, breweries making hand sanitizer, and restaurants moving their entire operations outside. Why? because they see the writing on the wall, that if they do not embrace the changes, find a way to work through them, then their businesses will not survive. So how do you condition yourself for change? Well, you need a tool that I call a skeptic. Now, use your computer, write these down, put them into your phone. I don't care, just make a list. Number 1, society. Number 2, competition. Number 3, the economy. Number 4, politics. Number 5, industry. Number 6, technology. And number 7, customers. Now, I want you to look at each area and I want you to just start to brainstorm some things that you see happening now and what you see coming in those particular areas. For example, you might look at politics and say, we're a divided country. We've got an election coming up. Your industry might be experiencing the need to have a remote workforce. Customers may be getting used to working with you online. What are the changes that you see happening in each one of these areas? I want you to walk through this tool, write these down, and just brainstorm whatever comes off the top of your head. There is no right or wrong. So how'd you do? Did you come up with some answers? Now I want you to step back and take an objective look at what you see and ask yourself, is there anything that I need to pay attention to in my business that could impact my business positively or negatively? Is there any changes that I see coming that I need to take action with right now? Now, honestly, this is a great exercise to do with your team, your peers, and talk about the changes you see happening in these areas, current and again, what you see coming. I actually encourage my clients to do this every 30 days. Why? Because if you set aside the time to talk about change, you will position yourself to see change coming. And anticipating change positions you to proactively make change long before you have to, ensuring you are controlling change rather than change controlling you. Now, one of the biggest changes you need to embrace is that in the world of uncertainty, competition now becomes collaboration. Success in uncertainty is about working with rather than against your competitors. The problems we are all facing right now, they are too big for one person or one company. We need to work together to solve them. We collaborate around a common problem. Now think about World War II and one of my idols, Winston Churchill. He recognized early on, long before his competitors, that this problem, Nazi Germany and fascism, was too big for one leader or one country to solve. So he reached out to ask Franklin Roosevelt, probably not that hard, and Joseph Stalin, a tough ask, and convinced them to join forces and work together to defeat this common enemy. Imagine where we would be if Winston Churchill did not understand the importance of collaboration in times of uncertainty. Your path to emerge successful is through working with rather than against your competitors. What problems do you need to solve in your industry, your business? And who can you work with to solve those problems? Who can you join forces with, share resources with? In today's world, we are watching countries work together to find a vaccine. Grocery stores share supply chains. And oil companies working together to define what is next for their industry. Well, it's the same with your teams and departments, as well as your company. Clearly define your challenges and then ask, who can you work with to find the innovative solutions you need to emerge successful? Now, this next strategy is my favorite strategy of them all. When I started doing the research for this book, every business I studied had a different business model, served a different marketplace, and had their own story for success. But the one thing they all shared was the importance of knowing and using this strategy. Get clear on your core values. In an uncertain marketplace, it is hard to know which direction to go, who to work with, or what resources to spend where. It is easy to lose sight of who you are and easy to spread yourself so thin that you really make no progress. Every company I researched, every one I studied, used their core values as their guiding light, their North Star. Being clear on who they wanted to be both during and after this crisis ensured they were not only clear on their core values, but they used those values as their litmus, a way to decide what they would do and what they wouldn't do. Your core values are your inner voice, and you need to listen to it. It will guide you on your path to emerge successful. Now, in times of uncertainty, it can be so tempting to go after new markets or customers. We are grabbing at any business we can get just to survive. But one of the biggest lessons from these organizations that I learned was that growth in tough times is before you go chasing new business, secure your base, your current customers. In times of crisis, your current customers are a gift that will keep on giving. If you reach out to your existing customers, they will be loyal and supportive during this time. And the information they give you will ensure that you have the information you need to sell the right products and services, the ones that are relevant for the challenges that they are having. And these customers will show you the path forward. Securing your base is the key to all three phases of this crisis: sustaining your business, growing your business, and transforming it. Now, here is a great exercise. Now, write this down, use your computer or phone, but I want you to make a list of your customers. And I'm talking go back 4 or 5 years, anyone you have done business with, even if you are not doing business with them now, and ask them, just call and check in to see how they are doing. If you ask that question and listen, a few amazing things are going to happen. First, you will secure their loyalty, and they will stay with you. Number 2, if you listen, you will hear their challenges, their worries, and any opportunities they have. That is the gift to help you understand how your products and services need to change to be and remain relevant in this marketplace. And third, the more you use what you learned from these customers to meet the needs that they're currently having, the more you will improve your market position. Reach out. Talk to your customers. It is through listening to them that you will find your path forward to emerge successful. And lastly, you need to shed fast and keep moving. No one has the answers or the right moves to make in an uncertain marketplace. There is no certainty. So put things into action, fail fast, and try again. I have been using a tool with my clients called a seeds, weeds, and needs. It's easy. So let's try it. Now again, I want you to grab a sheet of paper, use your computer, put this into your phone, and write these down. Seeds. What are the things you need to be doing more of? What's actually working right now in your business? Weeds. What's weighing you down, tangling you up, and keeping you from moving forward? And needs. What do you need that you don't have? What do you need more of in your business, or what do you need to bring into your business in order to emerge successful? Now, I've got a client in the airline industry, and you can imagine how hard they have been hit. And they have been using this tool on a contingency plan they built in 2008. Since February 29th, they have updated their contingency plan 21 times. Why? Because they're staying current and they're staying relevant. We've got to shed fast and keep moving. When you're in an uncertain marketplace, there is more changing outside of your business than inside your business. And you need time to reflect, to focus on what you're doing that is moving you forward, what you're doing that is holding you back, and what you need that you don't have that could really make the difference between struggle and success. A simple tool like this, done on a monthly basis, will ensure that you take the time to reflect and have the strategy to take an objective look at your business so you can shed fast and keep moving. Look, there is so much opportunity in today's marketplace, but you have to understand the shifts, the impact on your customers, and what you need to do to adjust your business and growth strategy proactively to not just succeed, but thrive in an uncertain marketplace. When you put these strategies into place, they will guide you to reinvent, rebuild, and relaunch your business so you can emerge successful. I'm Meridith Elliott Powell. Thank you for your time today. I look forward to working together and watching as you thrive in an uncertain marketplace.